We all know Aaron Pico. He was lauded as the next big thing in mixed martial arts, and while his career hasn't gone the way it was supposed to, Pico is still one of the best fighters on the planet. But before he became MMA's premier prospect and worked his way through Bellator's featherweight division, Aaron Pico was a freestyle wrestling prodigy. Aaron Pico was the best wrestling prospect in the country coming out of high school. Despite his skills, Pico decided to pursue mixed martial arts after his run at the Olympics in 2016. He would not go to college and wrestle. The path for him would be the Olympics, then MMA. Pico aspired for greatness. At only 19, Aaron Pico was just 2 matches away from making the Olympic team, but standing in his way was Jordan Olivier. Jordan Olivier was the man in front of Aaron Pico. An improbable ask, Pico would have to beat Olivier, who outmatched him in age and experience. A 2-time NCAA champion, Olivier would become one of Pico's toughest fought matches of his freestyle career. Olivier was great then, and since this match, he's gone on to win the Team USA trials in 2022. He is an Olympic-level opponent. But Aaron Pico's career of work, his unmatched nerve to win, and his tightly honed skills would put him within reach of beating Jordan Olivier and moving on to the finals of the Olympic team trials. Pico knew what to do. He had to go out to the mat and be great as he's done time and time before. Early in the match, Aaron Pico falls behind on the cards as Jordan Olivier gets a point on the pushout. This immediately puts Pico behind on the scoreboard, and it would be a tough climb to regain the lead, as we will find out soon enough. Next, we see part of the conundrum for Pico. Olivier is fast, very fast. Pico's bread and butter is being on the offensive, and Olivier's speed, as we see in the shot here, is just a little too much for Aaron Pico. Now Pico will have to figure out new ways to score. But in the meantime, Jordan Olivier will run up the score, putting Pico in a hole to dig himself out of. Here we see just how good Jordan Olivier really is. He will snap down the head of Aaron Pico and pull down the arm. This puts Pico out of position, and Olivier's speed allows him to snag the ankle of his foe. Now in on the single, Olivier tries to score on Pico, which is easier said than done. Pico has a great balance, and it shows, but Olivier is relentless. As Pico sprawls, Olivier finds a corner to turn and gets the go behind to score 2. Down 3-0, Pico has to do something. Remember the speed of Jordan Olivier that we discussed moments ago? To deal with that, Aaron Pico does something clever. He shoots in for the takedown, but if you pay very close attention, he goes a step on the lead foot of Jordan Olivier to slow him down. This doesn't work here, as Olivier gets his foot out of the way, and Olivier circles out and manages to get in on the single against the edge of the mat. Pico, knowing he's behind, uses the underhook on his right side, Olivier's left, and shucks the arm up and manages to get away from Olivier's attack and score 2 in the process. Aaron Pico is on the board and back in the match. But Jordan Olivier would come roaring back. On the reset, he shoots in on the double leg and gets another point for the pushout. There we go into the break with Olivier up 4-2, but the second period will bring us even more fun than the first. When the second period starts, Jordan Olivier extends his lead even further. Olivier's speed helps him yet again, and he gets in on the single. He builds his way up with the leg of Pico corralled, and knowing the balance of Pico, Olivier lifts the leg and trips the posted back leg of Pico, secures the back, and a 6-2 lead on the young Prodigy. Now Aaron Pico comes out with some urgency. To start his comeback, he steps in on the takedown, successfully stepping on Olivier's lead foot and grabbing the leg. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Olivier tries to stay balanced, but Pico pulls out the same trip that Olivier used moments ago and scores the 2 by securing the takedown. Seconds later, Pico shoots the takedown again, looking to step on the lead foot of Olivier once more. Olivier is a hair too fast and gets his leg free. But on the large step in, Pico just close enough to snag behind the knee and lift Olivier's leg again. As he does, Olivier looks to mitigate the score by retreating out and giving up 1 point instead of 2 for the takedown. Pico goes for the trip and Oliver gets out of bounds just as Pico finishes the takedown, and he's not awarded continuation. But the score puts him within 1 point of Jordan Olivier. But the comeback wouldn't be so simple for Aaron Pico. After pushing forward, Oliver snaps down Pico's head and grabs the ankle once again. He elevates his opponent's leg, and Pico looks to do the same as Oliver did last clip and mitigate damage by going out. But the referee calls this one a takedown, and Oliver is awarded another 2 points with just over a minute and a half to go. Time is ticking. On the next reset, Pico will answer the call and have a huge snapdown of the tired Jordan Olivier. The pace Aaron Pico puts on is relentless and wears his opponents down later in the fight. Pico gets in on the single and Olivier hightails it to the edge of the mat. This time, instead of tripping, Aaron Pico releases the leg and dives for the back. As he does this, he secures the takedown before Olivier gets out. Olivier, however, is gassed. Pico notoriously puts on a torrid pace as the match goes on, and he can break his opponents down and win late. He will do just that. Pico shoots quick on the very next reset. He does not want to give Jordan Olivier time to rest. Olivier tries to make it to the edge as Pico lifts his leg, but he pulls the leg away from the edge of the mat, secures back control, and secures the lead. Aaron Pico is now up on Jordan Olivier for the first time by a score of 9-8. Jordan Olivier has one last shot in him, and on the snapdown, he goes around Pico and tries to push through his opponent. As the two are playing grab ass, Olivier pushes Pico out of bounds, tying the score up at 9 apiece with just over 30 seconds remaining. This one will go down to the wire, it looks like. The two meet in the middle and Pico looks for a snapdown, but Olivier has just enough gas in the tank to avoid the single again. He tries a snapdown of his own, but Pico is too strong and stays up. Now Jordan Olivier is down and Pico shoots on his foe. He secures the two in the lead for the last time. Aaron Pico will become the victor. Aaron Pico would go on to wrestle in the best of 3 match with Frank Molinaro. He went on to win the first match, but lost the next 2 in razor close contests. Pico would not become an Olympian. After the 2016 run at the Games, Pico would, of course, move on to mixed martial arts. His wrestling in tow, he is one of the most dangerous fighters to date. Despite some mishaps, Aaron Pico's skills in the mat have translated well to the cage.